I'm Shane.
I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
And welcome back to our 10th episode. We've hit double digits, everybody.
That's right. Big 10, 1-0. Before we get started, we want to go ahead and direct you to all the socials. That way you can interact with us. You can
Standard procedure.
Get all of that. So we're going to start with, again, Facebook and Instagram. We'll just do those real quick and easy. Both of those are straight Kentucky Fried Critics. No hyphens, no abbreviations, no anything.
They'd be better with hyphens.
The URL, obviously, then is going to be / Kentucky Fried Critics. You can search for it with the words spaced out. You're going to find us. And then we go to YouTube. YouTube's where we get the little bit tricky. YouTube's going to be, again, if you just search Kentucky Fried Critics, you'll find us.
Yeah, that's the easiest way.
If you are the person who's going to type in a URL after listening to me and not clicking on the URL that is linked somewhere where you are also hearing this, because usually it's attached, like the podcast, the YouTube video.
Yeah.
You could just click the link. But if you're not,
link in the description below.
If somehow you decide you want to type out the URL,
some people are old school, man.
So YouTube is where it gets tricky. YouTube is going to be youtube.com/@KFCritics. So we had to kind of abbreviate that a little bit because someone else already had the Kentucky Fried Critics completely spelled out. No hyphens. I guess if you wanted, I could check for hyphens.
We could hyphen them.
But keep in mind, it would still be at Kentucky-Fried-Critics.
A little bit of a pain in the ass, but hyphen.
Again, that just kind of leads us directly into the last one, which is our website. Our website, as we mentioned, it does have hyphens.
Hey.
Acast, the proud sponsors, hosts, whatever word is supposed to be used.
Our lords
and
masters.
The people that we went through to be able to do the podcast.
Our gracious overlords.
Yeah. Acast, they provide us a website for our show. That's going to be shows.acast.com/Kentucky-Fried-Critics.
Hyphen! There's no actual hyphen at the end, just yay hyphen.
And then, again, we get even more hyphens when we do episodes.
Yeah, the episode titles.
And then, of course, obviously, we've been forgetting to mention to you guys, if you are watching us on YouTube, if you did go to the website to listen to us, but you want to listen to us through podcast players instead, we are on most of them.
Yeah, we're on most of them. Spotify.
Amazon,
Google Play. Are we on that one?
We're on Google Podcast, but it's changing to something different
to
soon.
Something else.
Yeah. I don't know. Once they figure out the kinks, I'll figure out the kinks.
Insert technobabble here.
Exactly, pretty much. And then, of course, iHeartRadio, we want to mention.
I like that one. Listen to us in your car while you're on your satellite radio from 2007.
Bo wants a t-shirt.
Yeah, I do. I want a t-shirt from iHeartRadio. Send me one.
And then also some random... I've never mentioned this to even you, Bo.
Really?
We're also listed on like some French and some other weird foreign language ones.
Well, foreign language people.
Only in those countries. We have definitely had people download episodes from other countries.
Cool.
I'll show you the list. So
I'm an international superstar now.
But yeah, I'll show you the list. So that way next time you're more prepared if you want to say something to specific countries. If one strikes your fancy,
start learning how to say hello and stuff other than Klingon.
Yeah, so we do have fans from, well, I don't know if fans. We have had listeners.
People who have been like, what the hell is this?
And checked it out at least one time.
Some angry Frenchman sitting at his cafe smoking his cigarette.
I don't know about France.
What the hell is this?
I don't know about France. I definitely know...
just the podcast.
Belgium.
Belgium.
We get a lot of downloads from Belgium. That might be why. That is it for socials and where you can find us. Bo, why don't you go ahead and kick us off? What are we drinking first off?
We are drinking Left Hand Brewing Company's Milk Stout.
That's right.
It's not an IPA, you guys. I'm so excited.
Not only is it not an IPA, this thing is black.
Oh, it is black as a banker's heart.
I love a nice, dark, thick beer.
Shouldn't be able to see the people you're drinking with through your beer.
Milk Stout. We had at least a couple people guess. The movie is Ernest Scared Stupid.
And it did scare me when I was a kid. My mom threw me under the bus. I saw.
Yeah, she definitely called you out.
Yeah, she called me out for it. If you saw the Facebook post, thanks, Mom.
In all fairness, you were a small child.
That's true. And those creature effects in this movie, above and beyond anything they needed in a kid's movie.
Definitely a movie it was frightening to a lot of children. This is after Ernest went to camp, saved Christmas, went to jail.
Now he's just scared stupid.
That's right. This was the last of the Touchstone.
Yeah, the Touchstone era.
Which means they were technically owned by Disney, because Touchstone is a Disney subsidiary. It's the last one for a reason. This one was commercially unsuccessful. I know it's crazy. I told you that, and you did not believe me. But yes, this movie, when we were children, despite being popular amongst all of us as children, I don't think I know any other kid who also didn't enjoy this movie. But apparently our parents were not taking us to the theaters because the commercials looked scary.
Yeah.
We were only all seeing it after the fact.
Yeah, I saw it on VHS.
So it means that they did not have a good commercial movie run. No. And so Disney abandoned... They were like, no more Ernest. So everything he did after this for Ernest, Jim Varney did after this,
was just like straight to video.
Was with the exception of the one right after this that you saw we rented kids. When we were children. Yes, that one was
Rides Again.
Ernest Rides Again, which is about a giant cannon,
the biggest cannon ever built,
and the British crown jewels that were hidden inside the cannon. And Ernest rides around with ass out of the cannon for like half the movie.
There's not much
this might not be exactly what it is, guys. We definitely only seen that once, but all of them after that, which we looked at this list, was a big list.
Yeah, there's like 5 more after Rides Again.
Let's see. I want to see if I can do this off the top of my head. These may not be in order, guys, because I had the order, but then I realized I was missing one because there are that many. I was missing one. And that one threw me off in knowing the order. So at this point, I'm just going to try to tell you what they are. So the one that I couldn't remember was Ernest Slam Dunk. So it's a basketball one.
I never saw that one.
I don't know where in the that is definitely after Rides Again, but as far as anywhere in the timeline,
I have no
other
idea.
than after Rides Again, I don't know. But then Goes to Africa, Goes to School, or Class. I don't remember what word they use.
Class, something like that.
And then Army.
I like that one.
So all of those ones
were just straight to video. They didn't go to the theaters. None of that.
None of that. And even Rides Again. Rides Again was in theaters, but that one was an independent movie. Yeah, like they did that out of pocket because
no funding.
Disney backed out, and it did horrible. Which is why the rest of them, they were like, no, I think we can go straight to DVD. I have very fond memories of Jim Varney, of the Ernest character.
Love Ernest.
That being said, I've not seen any of those straight to DVD ones. I've only seen these plus Rides Again.
Not even seen in the Army?
No.
Really?
I've not seen any
That
of
one's
them.
good. You're missing out on that one.
I'll probably go back and watch them. I've seen 5 of them, the 4 big ones, and then Rides Again. And I can only imagine the fact that there were 4 to 5 more.
That the quality just went down.
Well, that at a certain
time.
point, you're not just recycling the same jokes without even realizing you're recycling the same jokes, or on purpose recycling the same jokes. Like, I love Jim Varney. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
He really showcases it in, like, the flashes of the different characters he does.
There's a video of him doing Shakespeare somewhere, and it's fantastic. He's a way better actor than we ever gave him any credit for.
But that being said, I don't know about watching that many Ernest movies. Like, if I watch these, they will be so spaced out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go in and be like,
gonna start poking
marathoning
in it, be like, well, he's just doing this bit again in this part like he did in that movie. So I'm not going to go marathon. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
Movies.
Pick one for each season. Like you got this one for Halloween, you got the Christmas one.
I already watch Ernest Saves Christmas every Christmas. So it is one of our Christmas movies.
One of your Christmas movies.
Yeah. If you don't already know why Milk and Ernest Scared Stupid, in case you haven't seen the movie, again, we've got fans that do know the movies, don't know the movies. You don't say it again. Don't say it. Every time you're like, I can't believe. Look, there are movies I agree with you on, and there are movies I don't. This one is very niche. Like, Ernest was big. I'm not denying that. All of America knew Ernest. Yeah. That is for sure. To say all of America saw this movie is a little bit different.
True.
Right?
But they should.
They should. Again, I'm not arguing that. I love this.
I speak from my heart on these matters.
I now that I went back and watched this now, it will be part of my new Halloween from
definitely.
forward. That being said, it is more niche because it did have the scarier vibes. It was that movie. Parents didn't go see it. Disney abandoned them. So there's
my parents just thought
to
it was
a lot
funny,
of people. To a lot of people,
it scared me.
Well, to a lot of people, this was the end of the Ernest franchise because again, most of the others did go direct to DVD, so they might not have even seen them or knew about them. So it is what it is. I'm not going to say I think everybody has seen it. So I think we need to go into this with an open mind of the fact that
I will try to not
that a lot of people will not necessarily have seen it.
Will not judge these people, I suppose.
Why milk? I definitely think we need to elaborate on why milk and Milk Stout. Just that way people understand.
Is it because it's good for your bones?
It is.
But bad for troll bones.
Bad for trolls. Mother's care.
Milk.
So milk is their weapon in the movie. For people listening, if you haven't seen the movie, this will make more sense.
Sounds really ridiculous.
It will make more sense as we go. We can't really just jump the gun on everything.
No.
Milk is important in the movie. It is a very important aspect. Yep. Miak, we're going to go ahead and jump out of the way. If you hear us accidentally say Miak instead of milk a bunch, understand.
It's the same thing.
Now, that being said, I want to point out before we get further, I do this too. I know you do.
Yeah.
And most millennials, most people of our age do this. We all say Miak instead of milk.
Yeah.
And we attribute it to this movie, and that much is true.
Yeah.
But we all attributed it to being that Ernest said he called milk Miak, right? That's why we
knew it was milk, but he called it Miak.
And that's why we call milk Miak.
That was like the ancient name for it
or something, right? No, guys, we have been wrong.
We were wrong. I don't
know if other people have been coming back to this movie way more often than we have.
Yeah.
And if you have, shame on you for spreading these memes I see that make it look like he did think milk was Miak because he didn't.
Yeah, you're perpetuating a lie.
It's not true at all, guys. He definitely knew milk was milk and did not call it Miak. Miak is a separate substance.
Yep. Authentic Bulgarian Miak.
And again, go ahead. Blast us in the comments if you remember correctly and you knew that he never called milk Miak. But again, if that's true, did you ever in your life call milk Miak? And if you did, why did you do that?
I refuse to believe that they never called it Miak once.
And again, everybody our age.
You're going to the fridge and you're just like, I'm going to give me some Miak.
We've all done it once.
All done it.
I do it at least once a year.
Right.
It's a testament to how good this movie is. Mm-hmm. Now, before we start the movie, I do want to point some things out. So people are correct, though, when they think that this movie was maybe too scary for kids.
Yeah.
Not only were you scared...
terrified of the Ernest Scared Stupid.
There are plenty of other kids that were scared. Again, your age matters.
I'm so glad I wasn't the only one. There, take that, Mom. It wasn't just me.
Age matters, for sure.
Right.
But beyond that, the people who did the monster effects in this movie, the creature effects specifically.
Yeah.
The Chiodo brothers, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. They are also the guys, it's three brothers. They were also the guys behind Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which is another classic, well, like a true classic horror movie, horror movie. Like we're talking like B to the extreme.
B to the extreme.
And I love it. I first saw Killer Clowns from Outer Space probably roughly a year after I seen this one. And so, I mean, like, literally, I was scared out of my mind by that movie when I was a kid.
I was in high school when I saw Killer Clowns, so
really?
it wasn't that bad.
I was like 8 or 9.
I rented it on DVD. I was like, I've never seen this.
It's a crazy movie.
It's a nuts movie. We should do it.
The thing about this is not only are they the same guys that did it, later on in the movie, they reuse
the masks.
Like it's either they reused the mask or they had the same mold, something. Because I mean, literally, if you are a fan of Killer Clowns from Outer Space and you have not watched this movie recently or ever, watch this movie. When you get to the end and you see the army of trolls, you will 100% just start being like, I know that clown. I know that clown. Paint his nose red.
Yeah, the one with the long face and the big pointy ears. You just put a little red nose on him and paint him white. It's like, oh shit, there you are.
Maybe the parents who were like, I shouldn't take my kids to this,
that one,
were right, because they might have associated the fact that they seen the same thing somewhere else.
All right, well, we watched it on VHS, and to be fair, my mom was just like, it's Ernest. It's not going to be scary.
No, that was the rationalization for a lot of parents. Yeah. But again, that doesn't equate to box office.
That's true.
Box office. is where it's at. Because I watched this movie 100 times as a kid, but it was definitely not in the theater. I watched it on HBO. On that note, I think we can go ahead and just start with going into the movie.
Let's get into the actual movie. Ernest Scared Stupid.
That's right. So again, as we all know,
Shane's favorite part.
The movie opens with what I would say is a song akin to the Munsters thing.
Yeah, almost.
Right? It's very 1950s.
Yeah, I love it. I thought it was great.
Campy.
Yeah.
And then not only is that what it is, it's just scenes.
It's cut to scenes of like all these old
royalty-free
horror movies.
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Nudge back to where we just were.
Yeah.
And then also White Zombie and some other like
Attack of the Flying Brains.
Yeah, there's just some classic movies that were all free for them to use. On top of those, we see these scenes in the background. We just get to see Jim Varney rocking his Ernest character, making the craziest faces.
He's just mugging for the camera and mimicking the screams going on in the song sometimes, and
but
just
not
doing
always.
really like goofy faces when he does it.
Yeah.
That's great.
We cut from there to what I'm gonna go ahead and let everybody know. For the next 15 minutes of the movie is essentially we essentially are just getting the intro to Hocus Pocus.
Yeah,
but instead of witches, it's a troll.
It's a troll.
And when I tell you the intro, I don't even mean. And again, we'll go in more in depth here. But I want people to know that this is my opinion because it needs to be known that Hocus Pocus stole.
They ripped off Ernest.
I think Disney did this on purpose.
Yeah,
they didn't like this movie.
They were pissed that no one went and saw Ernest, and they were like, "Well, screw it, we'll make it witches instead of troll." And they just kind of tweaked this, but it's the first story beats for the first beginning
15 to 20 minutes
are exactly the same.
Yeah, what we're about to tell you will sound very
super familiar.
Yeah, very familiar to you if you have ever watched Hocus Pocus. Well, certainly if you're listening to us talk about another early 90s Disney horror / Halloween movie, you probably have watched another.
I would hope. If you haven't, go watch more movies. What's wrong with you?
Maybe start with Hocus Pocus before, because as you listen to this, you still got a couple of days till Halloween.
Yeah. Got time.
Knock it out. Watch it. The beats for this they're gonna sound familiar if you do decide to watch Hocus Pocus. We start off. It's a flashback in literally nondescript time. Yeah, it actually says
it just says long ago, or something,
or sometime in the past. In Briarville,
Missouri.
Yeah,
they're in Missouri.
I remember because I was like, oh, so not the deep South.
No,
like the deep Midwest.
They have forests out there. It works.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a problem with that. I just had a problem with the Ernest character.
Yeah, he has
being from there because Jim Varney lived in Tennessee.
Yeah,
most of his life.
He's a good old Southern boy like the rest of us.
Buried in Lexington.
Buried in his hometown, Lexington, Kentucky.
That's right. So
he's a Kentucky boy, just like me.
Kentucky, and then like I said, he lived a long time in Tennessee. I just thought Missouri was a weird choice because of that. Yeah, seemed weird. The Ernest character doesn't really strike me as Missouri. Now, that being said, I don't know if I've paid enough attention to see if he's always in the same state. I didn't decide to do extra research and watch other movies.
Yeah, we didn't watch all of the Ernest movies.
The flashback is just a girl running through the woods, afraid.
There's a troll. And it almost...
Well, no. We don't know it's a troll yet.
It's like a POV shot, like Jason style.
Yeah, well, nobody says the word troll either. Not for a long, not in the flashback.
No, not in the flashback. Further.
Yeah, we don't find out the word troll in the movie for a while.
Oh, I didn't pay attention to that.
In the flashback, we just know something is chasing her through the woods.
Yeah, and she gets pinned up against the tree, and it almost gets her, and then net.
Yeah, well, and then we find out that...
Did you see the net hit her square in the face and she kind of laughed?
No, because I was too busy being focused on the fact that meant that these villagers were using this 8-year-old girl as bait for whatever demonic thing, because you hear it talking.
We got it. We finally captured it.
Well, in the voice of... I mean, you can hear the thing talking to her.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell it's supposed to be demonic. It's definitely not of this earth, whatever is chasing her.
Deep, gravelly rumble voice.
And they used an 8-year-old as bait. That's how I was so focused.
I want to see the conversation. It's like, all right, little Susie, here's what we need you to do. You need to go run through that field right over there and let the troll chase you. Don't worry, we'll be right behind you.
It was a choice.
What'd they bribe that little girl with?
So they do, though, thankfully
Get there
successfully
just in time.
catch what we do know is a troll, but the movie doesn't tell you that yet.
No.
Well, they catch something. You don't get to see it.
Yeah, they wrap it up in a big burlap sack with chains and everything.
And then we hear a man condemning this foul creature. Again, I don't want to say that he is cursing.
Pontificating?
I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
Preaching.
Something. But he is doing the
This foul creature, we will banish thee.
Casting it to hell or whatever.
And
Banishing. Good word.
There we go.
I like it. He is banishing this demon.
Yeah.
And this, of course, is just Jim Varney.
Yeah, with makeup, doing
prosthetics,
doing one of his voice.
A very good bit. As a kid, I 100%
Until we
didn't
watched
know.
it for this, never once paid attention enough to notice that was Jim Varney.
Yeah, because normally if you would ask me as a kid or before I watched this to pay attention, I would have told you the only time that Jim Varney is in other characters in most of the movies is just in those flashes.
Yeah, those little flashes of his characters.
Not in like a full bit like this, like fully run.
The plot scene. Usually it's just a gag where he brings out
he's
all his
full,
characters.
he's full in this weird like white hair that's like standing on its end.
The big mutton chops. I liked him. He looked good.
But this is great granddaddy Whirl.
Yeah, Phineas Whirl.
Yeah. But so again, the movie doesn't tell us exactly how far back this is, but it can't be more than like the 30s. And we can figure that out because one of the characters that is not seen on screen is alive there. Yeah. Old lady Hackmore is technically here because we find out this is the last time the troll is out, and later on we'll find information out that lets us know old lady Hackmore was present during the last time that the troll was attacking people. Yeah. After we see this, while the curse is going on, we start to slowly shift into the fact that this is not just a flashback. We're shifting into present day classroom. Hence why I said this is exactly beat for beat. Hocus Pocus. We see that it is actually a girl giving an oral report in class over the history of the town. The history of the town just so happens to be this crazy story
about a troll.
About a demonic thing.
Yeah.
Just like a crazy story about witches.
Yep. And it's almost the same shot too, like the same fade.
Looks the pan across the classroom as the teacher is like, because some kids are snickering and she's being made fun of, and the teacher is like, "Guys, I sound silly, but this is our history. Yeah, we should pay attention to this." Just like the teacher was like, "This is Salem's history. Yeah, we should pay attention." They stole this.
Yeah, they did. They totally ripped Ernest off, the bastards.
Again, you should watch this at Halloween. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch Hocus Pocus.
Watch this one first, and then that one, and tell us we're wrong.
Well, and I love Hocus Pocus. I'm not trying to sound. I don't want to sound like I'm bashing Hocus Pocus. I also, that is in my Halloween rotation, guys. But I am saying after watching this movie,
it's real hard not to be like, "Hey, wait a goddamn minute!
Y'all stole some
shit, and I don't appreciate it."
Especially since we know Disney turned their back on.
Yeah, they just cut him
Jim
off.
Varney.
They're just like, screw you. You didn't make us enough money.
I'm not okay with it.
No.
But so now we're in the classroom. We see our main character, our main child character. You know, Ernest is our main character, but there's two plots,
there's
right?
The main
there's
kid.
There's two plots. There's like the Ernest plot, and then there's the kid plot, right? Because Ernest always helps some teen / kid / something, except for in jail. Yeah. Because obviously how you work in the kid angle until Ernest goes to jail. But generally speaking, Ernest has some kid that's involved with the plot line.
Because they are kids' movies.
We can all just work around the fact we got a kid main character. Yeah. And so that is Kenny Binder. This is a weird way to say that name. I would have thought it was Bender.
Right.
But everybody, even the dad, his dad is the sheriff in town.
Sheriff Binder. This is a weird name.
So Kenny is our main character with the kids. There's a whole group of them. It's Kenny, the girl that was telling our story, Elizabeth.
And their friend Joey.
We see as soon as the classroom scene is finished. Well, during the classroom scene,
we see the garbage truck going past, and Ernest is.
Well, we don't know yet. We just see it go past.
And it's dragging the crosswalk lady, I guess.
Yes, we do find out that Ernest is driving.
Is indeed driving the garbage truck.
We did not know yet.
No, but she looks out the window and is driving past. This is dragging this poor lady. And she's like, "Stop! stop! Oh my god!
And both teacher and everyone in the class just kind of ignores it.
Like, all right.
Which makes so much more sense once we know it's Ernest.
Yeah,
because it's like,
once you realize it's Ernest, it's like,
this stuff happens all the
okay,
time.
yeah.
Because this stuff does happen to Ernest
all the time.
But before we leave the classroom, right after this garbage truck moment, the teacher was like, "So what is it that happened to the family
was the curse?
the old man, which is the war again? That's
The Worrells.
that's Ernest's great grandpa,
Or whatever.
however many. Might only be 2 or 3 because again, it's probably only the 30s. But so she was like, "Oh yeah, they're just gonna get dumber and dumber and dumber." And so that's our explanation, guys.
Yeah. And then
that's supposed to be why we have all of the Ernest movies, is because
we cut over to Ernest, and he's literally got the dumbest look on his face. He's with his finger like pushing his lip up.
But he does have.
I don't think he's as dumb as everybody
exactly.
says.
Well, they said. I don't think if we're gonna go straight there.
Yeah,
Ernest is definitely not as dumb as
look.
people.
I mean, look at this dope ass machine he built.
Unfortunate events.
Yeah,
he falls. Victim to bad circumstances most of the time. He though is not stupid in and of himself.
He's very clever.
Yes, he makes these crazy contraptions.
I love the garbage can scrubbing machine.
Well, and again, like this is not even something that's just in this movie. Like this isn't all.
Yeah, he does it all of them. I love.
He makes contraptions. That's what he does.
He makes you want to just go and like throw shit together.
Yeah,
and
like
see what happens.
Goes to jail, right? Is when we see the dog house.
Yeah,
like
the
the
dog
crazy,
house
like all the
thing.
dog stuff through his house.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah. So we see in the truck that he has this remote control, and we see that Rimshot
is
returning from the last movie.
Yeah, love Rimshot.
Yeah, Disney took Rimshot.
Those bastards.
When they severed ties, they said no more access to this doggy, guys. Which was awful.
Yeah,
it was a big aspect of this movie.
Yeah, because we love Rimshot.
Why did he end up going in the back?
His little gimmick trash can scrubber thing started going haywire, and he yelled at Rimshot to hit the clutch. And Rimshot goes and hits a lever, and it raises him up and throws him into the back of the garbage truck where all the trash is.
Yeah, and so then he's stuck in the back, and we see that it starts to compact.
Yeah, Rimshot again. Pushes the wrong button.
Again, everybody says Ernest is stupid.
No,
in this scene,
this is the dog's fault.
Ernest did nothing wrong.
No.
Other than trust his dog.
Other than trust Rimshot to operate heavy machinery.
So the compactor, it was maybe not great.
Maybe not the smartest.
But so the compactor starts closing.
This movie, when the first time I watched it, this scene right here made me almost stop. Like, we hadn't even seen the troll yet. The trash compacting in on him. Closing. Scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Closing.
Yeah. Gave me nightmares of being in a room and the walls coming in and I can't do anything about it.
This scene though, you're right.
Yeah.
The trash compact. It didn't scare me that bad. The first thing he grabs, muffler.
Yep.
The flimsiest metal known to man. I don't understand why he thought muffler was a good idea. But he takes the muffler and he tries to push it from one end to the other to stop it from pressing in, right? Yeah. Crazy. Dumb idea. Does not work. Then he grabs a shovel. Again, dumb idea. Wooden.
Just
right?
snaps in half.
Snaps in half. But then he grabs the baby doll head and looks at the gears. Right? Obviously, the baby doll in the gear was not going to stop it.
No.
But this is the moment where you do realize he is maybe not
a genius.
Yes. Panic also makes people do crazy things. But
maybe
let's think about this though. He had a doll head. Doll head didn't stop it, right? But he did just have a piece of metal, flimsy, although it may be the muffler. Yeah. It would fold in on itself and make thicker and thicker and harder to budge metal. He also had the shovel head. Yeah. Which is the thicker piece of metal. I was getting there. But my point was he had two things of metal that he could have easily just wedged in.
Right. But he goes for the
doll head. Has a conversation with it.
Yeah. No, please. I have a family. I'll send him a letter.
Still does not work. No. So he takes the battery out of the remote control. The sparks shoot. Yeah. Little nod back goes to jail where he gets the
shock powers,
electricity powers, because it looks the same.
Yeah, it's the same
I think they were trying to make a joke about
the residual.
Him being conductive, because that was the whole point in that movie. Yeah. You couldn't kill him because he just somehow
he just conducts electricity somehow.
It did not work. Luckily, not even our trio, right? Is Joey with him? It's just right now.
It's just Beth and
which
Kenny.
it is frequently. As I said, Joey's not that important.
Joey's not that important.
But so they show up, they save the day.
Yeah, they open the truck and Ernest rolls out in a big trash cube and splat on his face.
And so when he gets out of the truck, he invites them in, gives them a ride.
The sheriff drives past and they duck.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it doesn't
that
work.
was close.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because it did work momentarily.
Yeah.
They did not get seen.
No.
But then we get we
meet the mayor who's a dick.
Yeah, and he's mad because Ernest hasn't gone and taken care of the trash at the Hackmore place.
Yeah.
When we see the Hackmore place, these are literally metal sculptures way in her property.
Yeah.
Like right beside the house. Like not an area.
Not even like by the road.
Not an area where a sanitation department employee would be allowed to take things.
They're not out in the road or anything.
I was very weirded out by the whole...
It's very clear that it's art, even though it is made out of quote-unquote trash.
Well, but again, it wouldn't even matter. Because to me, it was like the location of it was like a sanitate... Like, you know, my trash...
Even if it is just trash, that would be her job to clean it up.
My trash guy won't even come up here if my trash can is up here.
Right.
He's not going to come to the middle of my yard to grab something that is not in a can or a bag.
Hell no.
So
they won't even, if the lid doesn't shut all the way, they won't even take shit.
So I did not buy this scene as something that was normal.
No.
That should go on. This town has some weird rules.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know. But so Ernest's job was supposed to be to go take down trash outside the Hackmore place. He has not done it. The mayor's furious.
Yeah.
We have no idea how long this has gone on. We get the impression it's been a while. So he tells the sheriff, you need to take care of it.
Go deal with it.
Sheriff goes, pulls him over, because it's pretty easy to spot the man driving the only garbage truck in this town.
And it's big and red.
Now, I love this. They get pulled over. The kids they duck down.
They try to hide.
And it seems like it might be working at first.
Yeah, but then one of them makes the noise.
It's not even, before we get there, when Ernest gets out of the truck, right? Like, I want to point out that most likely already knows the kids are in there, is what I want to address. Ernest is pulled over and he's like, I wasn't speeding. And then when he says I wasn't speeding, before he gives the sheriff a chance to tell him why he pulled him over, he starts giving more reasons, right? The sheriff tells him he needs to go pick up the stuff, right?
Yeah.
At the Hackmore place. When he tells him he needs to pick up the stuff at the Hackmore place, Ernest's excuse to not go was, I've been taking cough medicine and I'm not supposed to operate heavy machinery, which is the truck that had the sheriff's son on it with him. And I was like, if you thought you were trying to keep yourself out of trouble, Ernest, maybe telling
that I'm drowsy driving my garbage truck with your son in is probably not the best
is why I
idea.
Can't now drive even further to go take that trash out of the road.
Yeah,
it was
bad move.
It was weird. I was like, that's strange. That was an interesting choice, Ernest. Why'd you go with that?
But yeah, he tells him he has to go do it or he's going to lose his job.
Ernest says, okay.
All right, fine.
We go out to the Hackmore stake the first time. When we get out there, we quickly see, as we've already pointed out, metal sculptures.
Yeah.
Rusted metal.
It's
ragged,
really cool.
Jagged. Dragons and stuff.
Yeah, dragons and...
wicked cool things.
I like her doors. So it's got the metal hands.
The house is falling apart, which I looked this up because I was very interested with this. Because again, you can tell this is that house is not on a sound set. That is definitely a house. That's a real house. It was a house that was literally in the process of being completely renovated from the ground up. They saw it while in that state. Nice. And they paid the money to backstep it some and leave it that way until they were done filming, and then they gave them the money to help push the renovation process.
That's fucking cool.
So yeah, that is a legitimate old 1850s whatever house.
Plantation
Dude,
house.
it's a dope looking house.
That's pretty fucking cool.
So he gets there, old lady Hackmore opens the door. This is when we find out that it's Eartha Kitt.
Yes.
We see her for the first time. I want to mention this right now because I found this out and it disturbs me to no end. Eartha Kitt was not given this role.
She was not invited?
Yeah. She tried out.
She had to audition
for this role.
Eartha fucking Kitt. Catwoman.
When I read this, I felt like I had been Mandela affected.
Right, like what fucking universe am I in where Catwoman had to audition for Ernest Scared Stupid?
Because apparently I'm not in the universe that I'm from. Because the universe I'm from,
she's a
she
bigger
is
name.
way too famous for that. But no, the casting director for this movie later went on to be the casting director for The Emperor's New Groove. Yeah. And the whole reason that we got Eartha Kitt as the voice of Isma in that movie was because he called her
To be in this Nice.
And she did it as a favor for the fact that he casted her in this one.
Nice.
Which literally means...
If she wasn't in this movie, we wouldn't have had Isma.
Well, and that he casted her. Again, she was not invited.
Thanks,
he had
casting director guy.
And he had, again, who else came in?
Right,
was it only famous people?
Who else came in to audition for this?
Could you imagine if it wasn't other famous people? Because sometimes that happens. It's open casting, but they send it all out to agents, and it's only famous people. I don't know for sure, but could you imagine if it wasn't that? If it was just other old ladies and they all show up and they see Eartha Kitt walk out of the fucking room, they would be like,
no, I'm not even
I'm
bothering.
going home.
I'm going home.
I'm done.
Well, if I was a casting director, I see all these old ladies come in here and then Eartha Kitt walks in. I'd just be like, send everybody else home. What are we doing?
Ernest tells her our glorious Eartha Kitt. Again, she steals the scene.
Yes, she does.
Anytime she's on camera.
Anytime you see her.
And the only name she gets, we never find out her real name. Or maybe at the end.
At the end.
One of the kids, I didn't write it down though.
It's Sister Frances. Okay. Is what the little girl at the end calls her. So
again, we don't find that
until
out
then,
until literally 30 seconds. Literally 30
right
seconds before credits roll. So for the whole movie, we only know her as Old Lady Hackmore. Old Lady Hackmore, he talks to her and he was like, we gotta get rid of your trash. She says, I don't got no trash.
I only have expressions of the soul.
And basically just runs him off. Well, and then she realizes that
you're that world fella. You're gonna bring evil and ruin down on us. And she blows her blowtorch at him and
runs him off. And that's it.
She has the best cackle. Yeah. Right?
And he runs away. As you would.
Yeah. I was like, wouldn't you if that came at with a flamethrower even.
She didn't even need that.
Yeah, I was like, don't even need the flamethrower. I'd still be like, ah.
And so then we cut to a scene of the kids. Because like I said, we got two stories. A story, B story. We're on B story right now. Kids. We see the kids. Kids are walking up to the flimsiest.
They built them a little haunted house.
Dude, this is like cardboard.
Right.
They're lucky that they didn't knock it over themselves opening it.
It was made out of balsa wood.
It was horrible. I was frightened for them. So they walk inside. They're going over what they're going to do with this cheap thing.
Yeah.
And of course, as soon as they get in, we got our bullies.
The Murdochs. Yeah. And these are the mayor's sons.
The mayor's sons, yeah. But so we see that they literally shake this building down.
It doesn't take them
much.
Which,
again, I'm not trying to make it sound like that's an incredible feat.
No.
But they do indeed break the building.
Yeah, they totally tear it down. With the poor kids inside.
And kids scatter.
Yeah, they just run away.
Because as soon as the scene's over, Kenny goes to Ernest.
Yeah, they go to Ernest and tell him about it.
Well, no, not they.
Oh, is it just Kenny?
Do you know why I know? Because we go from this moment is when, at the end of this scene, they bring up the treehouse. Then they go looking for the treehouse. During this scene, they bring up Botswana. The other kids don't know why it was brought up. We see the scene though. Kenny, this is what I mean though. The kids scatter. Yeah. They literally all go separate ways because Kenny comes here because Kenny is the kid who has the Doc Brown, Marty McFly relationship with Ernest.
Yeah.
Not the other kids.
No.
Because it is weird.
They think Ernest is cool, but like...
Ernest is 35 and Kenny is 8.
It's a little weird.
So like I said, it is a very much Doc Brown, Marty McFly situation we got going on here. Like, how did they become friends? I wish we could find that out pre-story.
Yeah, for real.
Although we can assume it was just saving from bullies anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Since that's what this scene is about.
Yeah, so he was probably getting his ass beat and Ernest showed up.
So Kenny shows up and he tells Ernest, like, they tore our house down.
They trashed our haunted house.
And so then Ernest goes off. Now, this is one of the... I love this scene.
Yeah.
It's the whole reason why I wasn't just jumping over. I was like, to me, this is one of those scenes where it perfectly shows just how much everybody thinks Ernest is stupid and he lets them think he's stupid. Because the scene is Ernest then goes off on this crazy, like, rant.
Story about somebody fighting the Ottomans.
The Botswana. The tiny African nation of Botswana.
That fought the Ottomans.
And won.
Again,
the story is not important, though. He is telling the story to make a point. At no point while he's telling his story does he tell the kid exactly what his advice is.
Yeah.
Right?
He just
But as soon as he's finished, the kid goes, a treehouse. Ernest, I know. A treehouse. I am telling you right now. Because the speech was about having the high ground.
The high ground.
Ernest knew. Ernest wanted him to make a treehouse. But he didn't want to tell the kid. He wanted the kid
to figure it out for himself.
So again, People think, and so even the kid,
It's not as dumb as he thinks.
even the kid thinks Ernest is dumb because Ernest didn't just say, make
because
a
he did it
treehouse.
with all the weird characters and shit.
Oh yeah, this is our first time we get all of our characters.
Characters. He's got the.
Which one's your favorite? We don't need to go over all of them. Everybody just know that he has like Jim Varney has like 8 characters in his pocket that he uses.
The old lady with the neck brace.
That's mine too.
Yes,
That's mine too. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
A woman's work is never done.
Yeah, so
I love her.
Jim Varney has like 8 characters in his back pocket that he uses specifically. They are Ernest. They are Ernest characters. He only uses them in Ernest movies,
and they're great.
To me, that scene just screams like Ernest.
Yeah.
Lets people think he's stupid sometimes so that way they can feel better. At the end of the scene, Ernest is like, I'll help you find a treehouse.
We gotta find
But as this happens, this poor Jack has been bowing the entire conversation. Snaps. He literally could have killed Kenny.
Yeah, could have.
Now, this is the moment where we do see that the other kids are here, but outside. Right? Because they see the right moment. The Jack breaks the car window of the mayor. Did you, when you watched it, did you notice how bad that scene was?
The window breaks before the Jack
Way
hits
before. Because they decide to slow-mo the Jack flying into the window, even though they knew they broke the window before the Jack got there. Yeah. You don't slow-mo a scene like that.
No. Only bad special effect I can think of, really.
But yeah, that window breaks.
That's what they messed up. Really, that's where
the easiest one.
That is the special effect they screwed up on this movie.
The easiest one. Then we cut to Ernest taking the kids through the forest.
Yeah, they're going to go find the perfect tree.
Looking for the perfect tree. We've already said Joey is really unimportant.
Yeah.
I hated Joey in this moment because Ernest goes through, right? And he's telling them how important trees are. He pushes down he's telling them well, this tree won't work because of this and this and this and this. He gives them 4 or 5 examples. The last one was even Ernest thinking he found a good one, but it still fell down.
It fell over.
And then immediately when Ernest starts to say the same speech again, practically, he's saying how important it is. Joey says, well, why is it so important? We literally just saw 5 examples of why it's so fucking important, Joey.
Right.
That's why it's so important.
This tree's not big enough. This tree's too tall. This tree has too much base. This one's good. Oh shit, it fell over.
Occupied.
The bird shit on my face.
Did Ernest get shit on in vain, Joey? You didn't learn anything? We do see they find the perfect tree.
Yeah, they find it down the creepy old path. There's the path in the woods where you're like, I'm not going down there.
Why would they follow?
Right. I'm like, I'm not going down there. That's the haunted part of the woods. Obviously, look how dark it suddenly is on that side. And there's just a tunnel through the brambles and things. Like, no, I'm not going in there.
Nope. When they get there, Ernest is like, this is the perfect tree. And don't get me wrong, other than looking scary.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
And frightening. It is the perfect tree.
They built a sweet treehouse in it from all the
because
Ernest collects.
Ernest is good.
Yeah.
Not only is it a sweet treehouse, it has all kinds of weapons.
Yeah, like it has like a dog food cannon.
It is armed.
And
from this scene though, we see that the troll spirit is awakened, which they literally show us by having a rotoscoped
ghost come out of the ground.
Again, he's not awake yet. He's not. He's not
awake.
He's not
just
set
disturbed.
Loose. Yeah, but at the same time this happens, it also triggers something for old lady Hackmore.
Yeah, because she's just doing her welding or whatever,
and she's like, need to go.
A disturbance in the force.
And so she runs out there
to the tree. She just knew that's where it was.
Well, no, she definitely knew that's where it was.
Oh, yeah.
She knows the history.
That's right.
She knows the story. But again, she runs straight to the tree. She's mad. She tells Ernest, why are you here? You could have picked any tree in the forest.
But this one.
The second Ernest walks off, the bullies walk on.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
I mean, literally, like the second. And so our trio of kids, Elizabeth, Kenny, and Joey, are like, sweet. Let's try everything out. Yeah, so these pizzas get flung. They're also shooting dog food. Liver flavored dog food.
Yeah.
Chicken and liver.
Stinks.
Yeah. It literally, and so again, don't be worried, guys. These 8-year-olds are not shooting unopened dog food cans at other 8-year-olds.
It's compress airing the food out of the can.
Yeah, it opens
and ejecting the empty cans out the side.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But so they totally obliterate these kids.
Yeah, they run off because they're just covered in shit.
And then again, just as magically as them showing up the second Ernest walked away, the second they were taken care of, Ernest showed up.
Yeah.
And I want to point out, this is I feel like
is there no time gap between
There's
the bullies
not.
leaving? It's just immediately he's back.
yeah, and I'll tell you why. There was a scene cut because when he gets back, they were like, "What was up with old lady Hackmore?"
Yeah, he tells her,
and he says, "Oh,
She
she
said
said
all
something about a
this.
red-eyed troll and how if I was here on Halloween and I said this
and
exact
I put my
phrase."
hand on the tree and I
Right?
said,
Did you-
call on thee, Trantor.
Did you hear her tell him that?
No, all I heard was yelling about doom.
And walk away. And then we see him come back literally as soon as... So, seen on the cutting room floor.
So do you know for a fact if they left that on the cutting room floor, or is that just what you think happened? It definitely does seem that way.
That's just what I think. I didn't see anything that said for sure. But again, he literally says, she told me this. She told me this. She said if I did this. And we don't know that from anywhere.
No.
That has nothing to do with our flashback.
Nope, nothing.
So
Yeah,
again,
it had to be.
It had to have been something that was actually filmed. And for some reason, they decided not to use it. Time.
Yeah,
Time be the only
time,
thing
I
I think.
guess.
But again, I feel like they could maybe have found something else.
Yeah, they could have cut some. There's a few.
Because
I can
that
think
seems
of a couple
important.
of
It seems
things.
important to me that we see her
Yeah.
tell him these things that he says, she told me. While he's saying this, he does inadvertently summon the troll by doing exactly what he was told would summon the troll to the tree.
Yeah, like an idiot.
Well, because they get dumber and dumber and
And
dumber.
dumber and dumber. But the
So-
kids run away though.
Like you should.
Yeah.
But Rimshot and Ernest stay in the tree for some reason.
even though there's crazy lightning and the
Yeah.
tree shaking.
And then the troll
stuff,
jumps up to the tree.
It is like,
But Ernest, luckily,
he just
spilled
happened,
some
he
milk.
just happened to knock over a cooler that had milk in it, and the troll disappears. And he's like, okay, that was weird.
Yeah.
Didn't make the connection of the milk, just thought it was weird.
I didn't as a kid.
I
I'm
didn't
not
either.
going to tell you right now.
There's a really good script.
The number of times they show us
Milk?
is doing it.
Yeah.
Before they even tell, like before the scene tells us that it's milk.
Right. Even though, like, there's like a milk truck. Like, if you're not.
Oh, no,
yeah.
no, I'm going to tell you this right now. Part of the reason milk is so important, and they keep showing it. Well, I don't know if the script might have just always asked for milk. I don't know. But the reason we keep seeing that's not a fake company.
Oh, it's not? That's a real milk
Purity
company?
Milk is a real milk company that he used to do ads for when he still did ads as Ernest.
That's awesome.
And so they used to pay him, and now he was paying them
Yeah, paying him back. Fuck
by
yeah.
bringing them massive product placement in this
Oh,
movie.
yeah, it's huge.
They are everywhere.
You know, they were like, gets rid of trolls.
Jeez, man.
I'd have put out special cartons on Halloween
Something
with
new.
like with instead of missing children, it'd be missing trolls on the carton. That's what I would have done.
We do see that there is Purity Milk
Right.
draining down, and that's what saved him right now.
Yeah.
He runs off to the sheriff's house.
Yeah, he runs to the sheriff and he's
First,
screaming.
right?
Yeah, that's his
And the
first place he
sheriff is
goes.
like, I don't believe you. And
Yeah.
Kenny just goes, no, Dad, listen to him.
Like, weird
just
stuff
like
was
that.
happening.
Just like that. That's how Kenny says it. Like,
Yeah.
so, no, Dad, really.
You should listen to him.
Stuff happened.
Weird stuff happened.
And his dad's like, I still don't believe you. And instead of trying to be like more passionate
No.
or trying to convince him, Kenny just goes, okay.
Okay.
Ernest has this kid's back, and this kid is like, he's a shit, dude.
Yeah, he is. He doesn't help out Ernest at all.
Ever.
There's another scene later
No,
on. where
I know
he-
there is.
He does that. Does the
I'm telling you
same
right
thing.
now, he is not a good friend to Ernest.
No, he's not.
Ernest deserves better, even if it is an 8-year-old. We have the moment at the sheriff's house. It doesn't go down. And again, everybody mocks Ernest for being an idiot. But as soon as the sheriff doesn't help, Ernest goes to old lady Hackmore, like you should.
Yeah.
Because she seems like someone who knows something about this.
Oh, did we skip over Joey getting turned into a doll?
Oh, we did.
Oh, shit.
Ernest drops that milk. And after the milk and the troll runs off,
Yeah.
Ernest thinks he's safe. He was.
Yeah.
Because inadvertently, when scaring the troll away from himself, he scared it straight towards Joey.
Poor Joey.
I guess.
You still don't like Joey.
No, kid had it coming.
No, the kid had it coming, little bastard.
But so we do finally see.
Okay, I want to point out, he like falls in that like little mud puddle
no.
and flips the fuck
No.
out for no reason. You were just in a little mud hole, dude. Acting like he was hanging off of a cliff.
I told you, I don't like Joey.
All right, yeah, fuck Joey. I agree.
But so this is when we finally see they turns them into wooden
To
sculptures.
little wooden dolls, and you
Yeah.
can't tell me that's not horrifying.
But so he takes the wooden Joey,
Yeah.
puts him in the tree,
Puts him in the tree.
and then we get
The little bulbs start to spring out as soon as he does that.
Yeah,
right?
the Brussels-
the little Brussels sprout
well,
things.
well, right now don't look like it, but will
No, but
later
yeah,
100% be demonic Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
This movie is the reason I know what a Brussels sprout is.
Because you had to like, what's a Brussels sprout?
And I was like, they do look exactly
They do.
like
They
that.
look exactly like that. And then they got the little slug thing
Yeah.
coming out of it.
But so from there, Ernest runs off to the sheriff's. So then when Ernest leaves the sheriff's house, again, everybody makes fun of him for being a moron.
Yeah.
But he runs to the smartest place I think anyone could have gone in this situation, Old Lady Hackmore.
Yeah.
She seems like she knows something. Right?
Yeah.
She knows something.
She does.
Well, she knows a lot more. We just didn't get
Especially
to see the
after
scene.
she
We just
showed up
heard
at
him
the
talk about the scene.
Yeah.
Stupid cutting. Stupid editing.
Yeah.
Somebody did something
I
stupid.
want my director's cut.
But so yeah, he goes to her and she's like, "Oh, I do know. You opened the trolls out? Of course you did.
Of course.
I told you you
Prophecy
would.
fulfilled.
I'm not surprised that you did." And then she immediately is like, "Vampires, zombies, werewolves, ghouls. These are things I could handle. But
Silver
trolls,
bullet trolls.
yeah." She pulls a big book. Well, I don't know if the big book was all trolls. Was it? Did it say on the front?
I don't know if it was on the front, but the whatever page they turned
Yeah, no,
to
she
said
goes to a section that's
trolls.
definitely all trolls, and specifically this guy.
one.
We find out not only is this a troll, this
Yeah.
is a specific troll. This is Trantor, some kind of demonic something or
Yes.
another. He's a big bad.
Satan's favorite
He's such a
troll.
big bad that in this book that is supposed to be, I would assume hundreds.
Yeah.
What's funny is from the
It
outside.
looks very medieval.
Well, what's funny is from the outside you would assume medieval. From the inside and how well kept that was, you would assume 5 days ago.
yeah.
The
It's
thing
a little
looked-
glossy.
It looked nice.
Yeah.
The colors were vibrant.
Yeah.
The pictures looked good.
They just painted these.
Yeah, they didn't do a good job of
They
aging.
didn't know the on the outside of the book.
Yes,
They
the
did,
outside looked
but
great.
once you
The
got
inside?
into the pages, it's like,
But so Ernest recognizes Trantor from the picture inside the book.
that was the guy.
Yeah, and so then Ernest is like, does the book say anything about how we can stop him? And she starts reading the book. And so now is when we get our beginnings of clues about what can stop it. No, but when she reads this the first time, she just says, it's the heart of a child
and a
and
mother's
care.
care.
Now, and she reads it as if that's all one thing,
Yeah.
right? But now we find out way later, mother's care is the milk.
Yes.
Heart of a child, unconditional love.
Unconditional love.
But so again, this scene bothers me because for so long she keeps saying those two phrases together,
Right? Like they're
like
all
they
one
mean
thing. like
together,
the same thing.
And again, of all the people that figure it out, it's Kenny. Kenny later on is
Yeah,
the one
Kenny's
that
the one
goes
that pieces it
mother's care milk. Again, we knew way before because the movie gives us lots of clues. But Kenny is the one who, in story, figures it out.
yeah.
It is literally Old Lady Hackmore's fault because she keeps
Yep.
saying it to everybody as
Yep,
if it's
and
one.
she tells Ernest like you're the guy. You're the only one who
You're
can
prophesized.
do it. You're the seventh son of the seventh son. You're the baby. You're the great redneck hope.
Yes.
I love that part.
And he immediately feels that
He does.
connection.
He's just
He
like,
says, I am the great redneck hope."
redneck hope.
Yeah, and so as of right now, we still don't know the milk
Yeah, we don't know if the milk is the thing.
because it was hidden.
Yeah, the pages,
You can see it in the scene. Did you notice?
the two pages stuck together.
Yeah. Again, the first time I didn't want. The first time, obviously, didn't know to look for it.
yeah.
But I didn't know when it was going to get brought up, so I didn't
Yeah.
pay attention the first time we saw the book. The second time I did. You can indeed tell. It's not one of those things where they had two different books like that. Like, they definitely did have just the pages stuck together the first time. You could
Yay.
see it thick
Yay.
and stuck together.
Attention to detail. I love
Continuity
shit like that.
is there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so the pages were stuck together, so we don't know milk yet. We literally just have this, what she thinks is cryptic rhyme
Yep, just the cryptic rhyme we have to figure out.
to go by. And so Ernest is like, okay, let's go. He starts trying to rally
yeah, he
everybody.
tried to. He's just running around with a bullhorn. Come on, people, work with me here. We've got an emergency.
Again, nobody believes him.
No, they're just kind of ignoring him.
We did skip over, before we get to Ernest raising the alarm bells.
Yeah.
We did learn already when we see the book this first time. It's when we find out that Trantor needs 5 kids.
Oh.
Specifically, and that he'll be able to raise an army. Yeah, I want to bring that up because again, it's not just that he is a threat.
Yeah.
There's
It's
an
like-
imminent threat of a bigger threat.
Yeah, he can bring a demonic troll horde
Yeah.
that will take over humanity. Oh, would they turn us all into dolls?
I don't know. Later on,
They're not really
we never
turning the
see
adults into any dolls.
Well,
later.
not only that, I don't know if the other ones can.
Might just be
Trantor.
his special ability.
Trantor might be the only one.
Okay, makes me feel better.
So yeah, so now we can go. We can leave her house and we can go back to where you were at.
Yeah, he's running around with the bullhorn. Nobody's listening to him. And this is where we meet, like, after the gimmick with the bullhorn, it cuts over to Bob and Tom, and they're filming their little commercial.
Tommy and Bobby.
Tommy and Bobby.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Bob and Tom. That's the radio.
Yes,
that's the
that's
radio.
the
That's the
only
radio,
re-
guys.
The only reason I specified
My bad.
Tommy and Bobby is because Bob and Tom is separate.
Yeah, those are
Different people.
totally different people. Funny people.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're doing their little commercial.
Yeah.
He's like,
And he crashes it.
yeah, he does.
And at first you can see Tommy's mad that he crashes it. But then he hears the word troll. And I swear in the most unexpected events ever. Again, these guys are famous in the movies for selling Ernest lots of things he doesn't
Yeah.
need. But in an event I did not expect, Tommy knew what trolls were.
Yeah, and he was in the army. He was in the 82nd Airborne's
And
Troll
he is ready-
Eradication Unit.
He is ready to take down some trolls.
He's got everything you possibly need. Troll repellent, troll bait, about 50 pounds worth.
So he racks up a damn near $2,000
Yeah,
bill,
almost
right?
$2,000.
On all this troll stuff, including the Love album.
Oh, yeah.
Love songs.
The Troll Love Songs album.
And thinks he's well armed to the gills and ready to take on
Like
the
he's
situation.
going down the stairs that Hack.
He goes to
He
to show Lady Hackmore first, and she just again
She's-
she laughs at him like the fool that he is,
Right.
Because he's the fool.
Yeah, he is, but it's funny.
You're a fool.
You're a fool.
And then we at this point we see that Kenny and Elizabeth are just now starting to realize Joey's gone.
Yeah, Joey
Let's
never
point
came
out that
home.
this is like 18 hours.
Yeah, like the middle of the next day. It's past lunch, right?
This again, Joey is so unimportant. His friends didn't even notice he was gone.
Aw.
They're like, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. What happened
well,
to
Elizabeth
him?
says he's gone, and Kenny's like,
He's probably at the treehouse. He's fine.
let's just go. Let's
Yeah.
go to the treehouse. Let's go to the place where we don't want to go because we ran away from it last night.
Right. Let's go out there just casually by ourselves. No Ernest, nothing. We're just going to go to where the weird things
Yeah.
happened.
So they get out there and they see the hole in the tree.
Yep.
With
the Joey doll
with
inside.
the Joey statue doll, whatever you want to call this thing. I tend to go with statue because doll to me always implies like some kind of movable limb, and this is definitely like
Yeah, like a wooden carving.
yeah. Carving. Let's go with carving,
Yeah,
from
carving.
now on.
There we
Even
go.
though we know they're not carved, they look like wooden carvings.
Yes.
I like it. They see the wooden Joey.
Kid.
They don't take it.
No, Kid cracked me up. He just sees it. He just goes, that wasn't there last night.
And then they see Trantor for the first time.
And Bolt.
Yeah, well, I mean, wouldn't you? Again, though, I just want to point out, we didn't say this before when we talked about it. This face is crazy.
dude, it's
so it's
super
like
scary.
it's like 2 or 3 different animatronic parts, dude. Like
Right.
it's still intact.
Oh,
When
they
the
still
movie was
have it?
over, the director kept it.
Nice.
And then he gave it to his son, and his son travels around with it now
Making
and shows
money
people.
off of it.
I don't know if he's really making money.
Where are we? They run to old lady Hackmore's house after they
Yeah.
see the troll,
Yep.
right?
And so this is the same moment where Ernest is there. It's shortly after his
Yeah, the
his
troll. The troll
goal.
followed him all the way out there, and it snatced the kid on the
He
on the
snatched it.
skateboard.
But I was just saying, this is shortly after our Ernest
Yeah.
and Troll gear.
yeah, and troll gear.
So we know like the time frame of
Yeah.
when they're showing up. Yeah, they show up again. Kids were smart. Ernest goes there. Kids go there. Adults are the only stupid people in the movie.
Right.
They don't go there.
No,
they
they
don't talk to her. They don't trust her.
The sheriff doesn't even go ask any questions. Well, now there is a kid missing.
Yeah.
maybe I should go.
Well, at this
question
point,
some people.
2.
Yeah. Well, they don't. That kid just got
I know.
snatched.
I'm just saying. But yeah, they get inside. And when she realizes they're there, she's just like, kids. She doesn't like kids.
Yeah,
You
no.
can tell she doesn't like kids. But then the moment that cracks me up is she starts repeating
The heart of the child, mother's
and she
care
tells
thing.
them she wants to take one of their hearts.
She's like, all we need then is the heart of a child.
Again, Eartha Kitt is amazing.
Yeah, it's super scary face.
And so then after this is when we get to see the troll dumpster cage. It's a
Cage
trap,
thing.
troll trap.
The troll trap.
That Ernest made out of an old dumpster.
Out of-
I want to buy a dumpster. After this, we see Ernest takes.
It takes Beth.
Well,
home.
he's going to take both. They make you think he's going to take both kids home, but then we get kind of sexist, and he's like, "No, little girl, you can't come with us, menfolk."
Yeah, this is man's work.
Even though Kenny's 8 years old.
Right.
But yeah, they're going to drop. Not even just gonna. They drop her off. off at home. Those two keep going. I guess we don't even see. It's such a weird scene for us to know they drop her off
right first
and keep going because we don't see them keep going together.
No,
they just wanted us to know they weren't gonna let them stay together. So then immediately after that, though, Ernest takes Kenny home.
Right.
So again, he did not take Kenny for any more.
It made it seem like he was.
But he totally told the girl.
Yeah, the girl. He just wanted to look badass.
I guess. I hope.
Yeah.
Maybe, again, this is early '90s. It's the time frame where that's the kind of thing.
Yeah,
they might have been going
like,
for.
Gotta
make him look. Yeah, gotta make him look good in front of his crush.
Front of his little girlfriend.
Yeah. Kenny then is
immediately jumped by the bullies
at his house, which bothers me because again, Kenny's dad is the sheriff.
Right.
You're just gonna do that at the sheriff's house,
right? You're just gonna jump and beat up on his son.
I had such an issue
battery,
with that.
Kid.
But then the mom shows up, the most oblivious mom to everything,
right? She
ever
gets
in the
mad
world.
At him.
Even though she saw them run away.
Beating the shit out of him a second ago.
Well, and then she's like, Kenny's like, I'm about to...
Where's Dad? I gotta go. She's like, no, you're not, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, I mean, if anything, I have a crime to report. I just got jumped by the mayor's sons.
And literally, I'm not even joking. This is how unimportant the mom is. Kenny just gets on his bike and rides away as she is telling him he's not allowed to do that.
Right, just blows past
He
her.
literally looks back at her and then keeps going. I was like,
Fuck
balls
you.
out, kid. Balls
Right.
out. But yeah, she is so unimportant.
Yeah.
We see Ernest still setting up other traps. The giant bear trap,
the
to
bear
be specific. The bear trap made for elephants or dinosaurs.
Yeah, T-Rex.
I don't know. This thing is massive and would have cut him in half. But we do get a cool scene of Rimshot in the Boy Scout outfit.
Yeah.
It's cute.
It's
Cute dog in a Boy Scout outfit.
Right.
All right. Cut away. We don't need any more. Again, it was just there for some humor.
Yeah.
Then we get Bobby and Tommy. I don't even know if we really need to talk about the Bobby and Tommy scene.
No.
Where they're changing the sign.
They're just changing the sign. It's just there for comic
It's there for showing that they don't understand how slack on rope works.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Poor Bobby.
Like
He's
Tommy is just like, Bobby, it's okay, the rope is tied to you, but you can see that there's literally there's no pulley, there's nothing that's giving him the ability to pull it. It's just between the two of them. Yeah, so Bobby and Tommy don't understand how slack and rope work.
He's like, come on, let's go. Pulls the rope and just pulls poor Bobby off the billboard.
It was not really needed.
No.
So then we cut to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Ernest stocking up because he's been hard at work all night.
He's getting snacks.
He's got chocolate milk. Again, purity chocolate milk.
Purity chocolate milk.
He gets up to the counter, drops this mountain of stuff to the counter. And while he's talking to Jimmy, poor Jimmy, Jimmy looks up and he sees the troll.
It's behind Ernest. And
he starts yammering and Ernest
that's
doesn't
great.
understand.
I like charades.
Jimmy pulls out the shotgun. Ernest gets a little bit scared. But then Jimmy passes out.
He throws the milk behind him when he gets the shotgun pulled on him. That scares the troll off. The poor guy passes over. He's like, geez, Jimmy, you play charades. You really play for keeps, don't you?
This is another moment where the milk got spilled. Ernest didn't pay attention to the milk. And I will say, again, not been told to us as the viewers yet either.
Not yet.
Only shown to us.
Yeah, these are just little background clues and shit.
That it's milk. That is, he's afraid of milk.
Yeah.
We cut away from this to see Kenny, right? At
the big sewer drain
thing.
Yeah,
with the other kid that gets taken as soon as the scene's
kid.
over, right? Again, random kid.
Yeah,
but he gets taken kid. As soon as the scene's over. So yeah, let's skip back real quick. Yeah, so we cut to Elizabeth before we cut to Ernest outside. Yeah. And Elizabeth is afraid.
She's arguing with her
mom. She goes back to her room. Lays down in her bed. Trantor's there?
She's like, there's nothing under the bed.
Yeah.
And then she goes and looks, and it's her teddy bear. And she's like, oh,
and then
Teddy.
She rolls back over.
And then she rolls over, and then troll, and we get her scream, and then that's her snatch. She's a carving now.
Yeah, so she's 3. After Kenny has the conversation with the whole troll. Don't say that again.
The whole troll.
Don't say it again, I said. Kenny runs off because he's frightened.
Yeah, because he snatched that
and the troll takes the other kid. Yes, that's right. It takes the... So now the troll has 4. He only needs one more to summon his army. Now we get another Purity Milk reference in the
Purity Milk truck
that almost hits the troll.
And Kenny, because he's going across the street.
Well, really, but it's the thing that kind of saves Kenny.
Yeah, because the troll's like, milk, and runs away.
And then at this moment, Ernest gets a...
No, first it cuts over to the sheriff's office, and everybody's yelling at him about the kids missing, and there's the guy in the bumblebee outfit.
In the sheriff's office, all of those people had relevant arguments, because it's their kids are missing.
Yeah, bumblebee guy.
Wants to argue about the trash.
He hasn't had his trash picked up in 2 days. And no one even even looks at him funny about it either.
It's because all of the complaints are still about Ernest.
Priorities,
I
man.
agree,
It's
I agree.
Like right after that one lady's like, and my
Yeah.
Joey never came home.
But so yeah, now we get the payoff on the troll trap though. Ernest shows up and he's trying to convince the sheriff like, no, I did. I caught something. It's in my trap.
It's in here. I got it.
We see them go outside. You can tell the sheriff still, up till the moment they get outside, is acting like he doesn't believe Ernest. But then the moment they walk out the door, that man pulls out his gun, full cocks it, and points it at whatever is about to come out of the truck. At what point did he start believing?
When he heard something banging in the truck, I guess.
It was just a quick change.
I guess.
Right?
I decided upon walking through this door that I am now on your side. Click.
He's totally ready to go and kill whatever needs to be killed.
I will blow it away.
Ernest opens it, and we see, because during this whole time, the mayor has also been yelling
his
because
boys
his kids are missing. Ernest opens it. Of course it's the
fucking
mayor's
Murdoch
sons.
boys.
Of course it is.
Stupid bullies dressed in their troll costumes, and I mean they're crying like little bitches. But I mean I would be too if I got dumped in the back of a garbage truck all of a sudden.
I don't even understand why they were there.
They're probably intending to hide in the trap, and when they showed up, jump out and scare them, but didn't realize that Ernest was just going to roll up with the garbage truck and dump them in it.
This is another one of those moments where we see how much of a punk Kenny is, because he totally just lets Ernest get fired.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything.
Despite the fact that at this point,
Ernest even's like, Kenny, tell him.
Yeah.
And he just kind of shrugs his shoulders and leaves.
Such a punk.
Yeah, fuck Kenny. But yeah, Ernest is fired. He's all
Ernest
sad.
is fired. He's giving up on everything. He's not even going to keep helping the kids or something at first. But then we see Rimshot give the best encouragement speech ever with 2 barks and a tug at the pant leg.
Yeah, he gets his venom back. He's just like, you're right. I needed that.
Now's the scene where we get literally the moment that these things are starting to look like Brussels sprouts. The things coming from the tree.
Yeah, because...
And then we see the slugs sliming out of it. Again, I don't know if these are real slugs or not, but I
don't know. Whatever
like
they did,
slugs.
It looks awesome.
What's going on right now? Ernest is mad, and he's going to go to the source of the problem, right? He's driving. This is when we get the crazy fight scene on the road.
On the road.
Trantor shows up.
And they leave. And attacks his truck.
Yeah.
Starts stabbing through the roof and stuff, and he gets pulled into the back, and the whole time, Rimshot's driving.
Rimshot's the driver.
He's driving the truck. He's got his little paws on the wheel and shit. Oh, it's great.
And this scene was one of the, I remember this scene.
Right.
Like, if you wanted to ask me about any scene before we sat down and watched this again recently, I would tell you about this scene. Like, the crazy on the highway fight scene. Like, this scared me as a kid, some of this stuff. Like the pulling him. Like, pulling him and stuff. And then backing up the truck. Yeah, dude, like, all of that. All of that. Like, pulling the tow truck part of it and stuff. Yeah. The other highlight I have from this highway fight, though, out there is the hedge clipper nunchucks.
The nunchucks. I like that he got stuck in the can at the end of it, and he had to hop.
Well, that's good. No, that we need to bring that one up.
Yeah.
So yeah, by the time the fight is over, the troll shoves Ernest into a big, like an oil drum can that he had on the back of the truck, and then Ernest has to hobble.
Troll containment unit.
Ernest has to hobble his way to Old Lady Hackmore's with this. Now, here's the question I have: she is then seen using a giant comical can opener,
like a cartoonishly big can opener,
the oil can. Is that hers or Ernest? Who owned the giant can opener?
I want to say it was hers because she
does do the metal
sculpture. She does all the metal work and stuff. Might need a giant. She made a giant can opener as an art piece, and she's just like, I knew this would come in handy one day.
I don't know. This is the moment, though, we finally get to see the page stuck together. The pages
were stuck together.
And that the page behind it says, the second page is elaborating that mother's care is more of whatever this second page is. And it says the stuff. But it's definitely supposed to be milk. Upon this viewing, this is the moment we all got this totally wrong. Yep. It is M-I space K.
Yep.
The L has rubbed off.
I always thought that the book actually called it Miak. Like that was some kind of archaic pronunciation of milk.
Ernest just says he thinks it is Miak. Because he authentic Bulgarian Miak. But of course, we all know it's milk. We've seen the references it to be in milk. We now know mother's care should be with that part of the book.
Yeah.
But nobody pieces this together yet. We literally go from there to the Halloween party that the school is hosting.
School dance, something.
Which is literally everything the troll would want in one place. This is just to highlight how much nobody paid attention to either Ernest or Kenny or cared what they had to say.
Nope.
But as soon as we see this place, we see a convergence of all of the moms screaming about their missing, well, not screaming yet, but practically screaming about their missing children. We see that there are many mothers wandering around in a panic, talking to other mothers about children and if they've seen them.
Right.
And then we see Ernest pulls up to the same building, somehow that everybody just keeps showing up to the same places.
Yeah.
This is when old lady Hackmore realizes what the heart of a child really is. She gets out of the truck at the school fair
school dance
party thing. And when she gets out, we see a mom and a child in the worst Halloween costumes I've ever seen in my life. The mom is a pizza place employee that is also a mutated pizza. I don't understand
her costume.
And then the daughter is
stupid teddy bear.
And then the mom is mad at the daughter because she says the daughter picked this costume. And I'm telling you right now, no 9-year-old picked that thing. In the process of them fighting, though, they make up and she realizes unconditional love. Our only problem, though, is before she can tell anybody, Trantor shows up and terrorizes the school because he does indeed only need one more child, and there is a building full of children.
Yep, and he grabs one of the mayor's kids.
He's in a space outfit.
He looked
robot.
The dude from Total Recall, the Dynamo guy who sings the opera.
I don't think that's who it is, but I could see
That's what it reminded me of. But he gets turned into a carving, and that's it. That's his last piece. That's all he needs.
That's all he needs, and so you think he's about to take off,
but Ernest arrives with his authentic Bulgarian Miak. You thought I couldn't get it this time of year, but I'm just too clever, too smart, and too quick.
The troll even
is just like, what the?
Miak?
Like, what are you talking about?
Tosses him across the room.
Right.
But he crashes
into an ice cream machine.
Which is milk.
Yeah.
It does scare the troll. But unfortunately, in this whole process,
poor Rimshot.
The troll gets a hold of Rimshot.
Rimshot was trying to protect Ernest.
Turns him. Leaves him. That's how little he cared.
Yeah, didn't even take him with him. Just left poor carving Rimshot. Now Ernest is sad. And more than a little angry.
He proclaims, somebody with a runny nose is gonna die.
That's a lot of people. You're gonna have to narrow that down.
I know. I was like, that's a weird one.
We've got a bunch of kids here. I mean, like, it's
a weird
October.
Line. Weird choice. But that's what he went with. That was his.
I liked the way he flipped his hat down.
That was his call to arms.
Right? Just like flipping that switch on.
Yeah, and then this is the scene where we finally see Kenny. Yeah, even though no adult who has confronted the troll or old lady Hackmore who has studied the troll for 60 years or better, none of these people have been able to piece it together. But Kenny, in seconds of looking at the ice cream and the milk jug in his hand, goes, milk. He even says
milk.
He says mother's care.
Yeah.
Milk.
Right.
Figures it out.
He tries to tell his dad and everybody, right? They're all like ganged up, like, what do we do? He tries to tell them, and they don't like. What was it, 90s movies where like the parents just never listen to the kid?
They don't listen to him. They tell him he's got to stay. Yeah, they're going to take off because obviously now they have to believe it.
Yeah, because they
saw
it.
This is that moment where it gets real weird because so Ernest is on his way to the tree.
Yep.
The rest of the parents and the sheriff are on their way to the tree.
Yeah.
Kenny stays because he got told he had to stay. But then we see Ole Hackmore, who tells him, we all need to go to the tree. But they don't go to the tree together. She just goes to the tree
just leaves.
by
she
herself.
Steals a bike and leaves.
And then he's about ready to go to the tree. And the other kids show up. All of the rest of the kids in town. They're like, what do we do? And he's like, well, since nobody else listens to us, we should save the day.
Yeah.
And so they decide they should go to the tree. We've got like 5 groups all going to the tree, and none of them are going together.
No,
it's crazy.
Ernest's got a big old pickup truck. He could have fit.
He could have fit them kids.
Most of those kids in it.
In all fairness, though, the kids do the smartest thing.
Yeah, they roll out to the grocery store and load up on
straight hoodlums and rob that place of all the milk. Now that part's wrong, but everything else is good because nobody else brings milk.
No,
and so they would have been way ill-equipped to
water
take
guns and milk.
Ernest gets there first because he did have the lead.
Yeah, he did leave first.
He crashes.
He just smashes the troll
straight into Trantor. Unfortunately, Trantor has already put the 5th carving
doll
into
whatever.
the tree. So he's already fulfilled the last part, and we see
the pods are getting
the demonic
bigger.
Brussels sprouts.
They start falling. Poor Ernest, he's trying to stop them from hitting the ground, but there's just too many.
And they all start popping up. And this is the moment you can start to see all of our famous killer clown faces.
All the
from Killer
different masks
Clowns.
and stuff.
The first one that comes up, did you notice? He was the only one that was battle ready.
Yeah, he had like an axe and a shield and
Well,
armor.
he had like the shoulder
the little
spaldron.
shoulder
and then,
armor and stuff.
Yeah, he was ready to go.
Yeah,
and he had a bandolier. I was like, they're not even shooting guns. Why does he have a bandolier? But so the first guy ready to go.
Yeah, he is.
Now, guys, mind you, we're about to roll through.
Yeah, this goes fast from this point.
Well, at this point, I've literally in my notes have probably already started saying it's crazy that we're 15 minutes from rolling credits. It's crazy that we're 10 minutes from rolling credits. Because literally, guys, it seems like we've got so much more to cover. We don't.
No.
There's just this big epic battle.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into details. Everybody finally starts rolling up here. Adults first. Adults can't do anything because they don't know about milk.
And they're getting their asses beat by these trolls.
So then next thing we see, Kenny passes by old lady Hackmore on his way out there.
Sorry, I can't stop and help you. Bye.
And so he shows up to see his dad and all the other adults being just straight.
Yeah, his dad got his gun took.
Well, he's handcuffed to his own cop car. Just the adults did not fare well.
No, they were getting their asses beat.
And so then Kenny and the kids show up and they start winning, saving the day.
Tossing milk bombs. Boom, just cartons of
everywhere.
milk.
They tell Ernest what the deal is. And Ernest is like, oh, and then that's what it is.
Then we get the awesome defending the fort scene.
Yeah, well,
with all the different
we get
characters.
all the different, all the characters, all the weapons are being used.
Right.
We got water guns. We got every form of dairy you can think of. Yogurt's being thrown.
The powdered milk.
Powdered milk.
I love that.
I don't even know if at 7 or 8 years old when this came out, I knew that was a thing.
This is great. He just throws the powdered milk
into
at the fan and it blows in its face.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
But so there's just know there's all out war that goes on right here.
The trolls are getting pushed back. Trantor retreats.
Well, they take out all of them.
Yeah.
Literally when Ernest calls out the air brigade,
the
air bomb
drop or whatever.
Yeah. When he calls out that,
the
he literally says as it's about to drop the things, you guys took out all but 2. I guess it's up to me to clean up the rest or something like that.
Our favorite, the old lady Nick Bray's character.
But so he takes out. They successfully take out everybody. They think for a moment that everything's good.
We've won.
But then they see, and we know that Trantor has been underneath the tree,
getting a power up. He called on the demons.
This scene literally felt like Power Rangers.
A little bit.
I felt like
Lord
Rita
Zed.
or Lord Zed was about to scream, "Make my monster grow!
Make my monster grow!"
It had that vibe to it so much.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
And so he is more powerful. There's more snot coming out of his face.
Yeah, the more powerful you
they're
go,
like tentacles.
the more snot you have.
Flying around him and stuff.
I was so sick. All this, the way it was done, all the shit growing out of him and stuff.
We see that at this point, it is going to be a showdown.
Yeah, it's Ernest V.
Epic showdown.
Uber Troll.
Right before the showdown really starts, Lady Hackmore finally shows up. Right?
Yeah.
And when she shows up, she immediately slyly sneaks over to the tree and sneaks her 4 wooden dolls in with the other 5 wooden dolls. We don't know how this magic works, but she's just hoping. So again, you can tell she's finally putting her money on Ernest, right?
Oh, and Ken got turned into a doll too.
But again, he didn't need to be. That's the important part.
Right.
Because he already had his 5, because the 5 was just to summon people.
He just did it to be mean. I had my notes. It's just haha.
Now we get our epic showdown.
Yeah, our epic showdown.
He even picks up the milk.
Yeah.
Like he's about to use the milk.
The whole town is just screaming, "Kill him!"
And in the moment we see old A. Hackmore is telling the mayor like he's never gonna get it.
He doesn't
know.
understand.
He doesn't understand. And then again, almost like in a psychic flash, it's happened a few times in this movies.
Mm-hmm.
No explanation any time for any reason for any of these people to have these, but it just kind of happens.
Yeah.
Ernest is like, unconditional love, heart of a child. And she looks at him knowingly.
Yeah, like, he figured it out.
Or he felt I don't know.
He heard my brain
Right?
probe.
I don't understand. And then he starts yelling for Trantor to come give him a hug.
Come on, little buddy.
Give me a hug. He hugs him.
And they do a little dancing around, and then
he blows up.
He kissed him on.
Yeah,
he kissed
that's
him
right.
on his
He gets the
green
slimy
nose, and then
he gets the slimy, snotty, ooey gooey kiss. But again, guys, it wraps up that quick. We are done. As soon as it's finished,
All the kids unwooden.
And start walking out. We see Ole Hackmore's friends show up, introducing us to the weirdest question of all. What happens to these kids when she dies in a couple of years?
Yeah, they're displaced in time by like 50 years.
Yeah.
Dead
Well, she
now.
was their family,
Yeah.
except for those white kids, because they're not hurt.
Right.
I don't understand what's about to happen. But she does have a big house, so we'll at least say that. That's good.
And most importantly, rim shot.
Although, no, you got to give it the build up.
Well, yeah,
it
you got to
deserves.
build up the drama.
Because we think Ernest acts like nobody.
There's nobody in that
There's
tree
nobody
for
in
me.
that tree for me, which is stupid. You know why it's stupid that he said that? He was looking at Kenny on the ground, also not in the tree. So he knows that it doesn't matter where the wooden sculpture was.
Yeah.
They turned back.
You should have known you left the wooden rim shot in the truck.
But so then we get the barks from the truck. I'm sorry, I don't know why that upsets me so bad, but it does. He watched a kid. He knew the tree had no effect on it.
He wasn't thinking. He was upset.
So we hear Rimshot. Again, I'm glad Rimshot's alive. I'm not a monster.
I wanted that fucking dog dead. I wish it burned.
I'm just saying, I don't understand Ernest.
Yeah.
And that's it, guys.
Yeah,
literally.
that's it.
Rimshot jumps in his arms. There is nothing else.
No.
Credits roll. There is no like that is it. It felt abrupt.
Yep. It's just like, we're done. Roll it.
Might as well have been just straight fade to black.
Right.
Skip the credits even.
Great movie. What'd you think of this beer, Shane?
I love a milk stout. This is the first time you've ever had.
That's the first one I've ever had.
I remember you telling me you thought you were afraid it was going to be
It was gonna have
milky.
like milk in it or something.
Yeah. And I had to let you know that no, it's just about the lactase. It's about the chemical breakdown more than anything else. But
This is a magic potion.
it's smooth, right?
It looks like it would be flat, but when you drink it, it's still fizzy because they've magically trapped the bubbles inside the liquid somehow. Sorcery.
It's that Left Hand Brewing magic.
That
Man.
Left Hand Brewing magic. What about next time? What is the clue for next week?
I don't know. You let me know. What do we got? What do we got on deck?
We got some. We're going different. This isn't a beer.
What?
No, this is. We're gonna do bourbon.
Oh, we're going strong.
We're going strong. We're
going strong.
We're gonna do some wild turkey, ladies and gentlemen. What movie could we be doing with wild turkey? Make your guesses in the comments section, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. You know how to play this game
That's
by
right,
now.
guys. You get it. I guess that's it.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's a safer world with Ernest P. World. Know what I mean, Vern?